Hey, Brad, what's that?
What's what?
That thing right in front of you, man.
Oh, you mean the script that's telling me to remind our listeners to subscribe to Geeklirious on iTunes or any platform of their choice?
Yeah, but wasn't there more?
Alright, let me take a look. Hey, there's a part where I tell the listeners to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter using our handle @Geeklirious.
Yeah, that's the best line I ever wrote.
Oh, crap. I deleted it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Geeklirious episode 45. Woo! My name is Brian Cambriello. His name is Mike Tessmucker.
Hey.
Like that rock star entrance I gave you?
Very.
Or like indie wrestler?
It suits me, yeah.
The man, the myth. This is Mike Tessmucker. And then like some badass rock music would play.
Definitely.
Anyway, so
some Metallica Hardwired.
that's the hardest record there.
Yeah.
That's the hardest record there is, man.
It's a fact.
It's called Hardwired. So as always, we like to give big thanks down to the guys at Geeked Up Comics and Games, located in beautiful sunny North Massapequa, New York. That's 1097 North Broadway, North Massapequa, New York, 11758. They got Magic the Gathering tournaments, Super Smash Brothers tournaments, Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever you want to call it, Fighter Z,
and Dungeons and Dragons,
all different types of stuff every day of the week. So
Dragons and Dungeons,
they got stuff going on, and of course, when they're not doing anything, you got your comics, you got your games, you got your collectibles, and sometimes we're here, you record here.
Yeah, well, we're here a lot. Yeah.
So we come here, and maybe you could be on the podcast.
No,
maybe not.
maybe not.
If you're quiet, you can sit in the corner. Get some snacks or something.
Absolutely.
What do you think the viewers would want?
For us,
some Oreos.
Oreos, double stuffed. Yeah,
double stuffed.
Of course.
They have like weird flavors now.
Yeah, I know.
Like root beer flavored Oreos.
Yeah, I'm not with that. With the pumpkin ones.
Gross. I'm a Oreo purist. I like my Oreos plain or double stuffed.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah. But anyway, and if you want to follow us here at Geeklirious, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the above, Geeklirious. The links are down below in the description and the show notes wherever you're listening to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and also iTunes.
iTunes. If you're visiting, 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. Leave a review. And we're also on Google Play Podcast as well.
Not Disney Play. Not to get confused.
Yeah.
Discast. We got the Discast. The Disnex. The Disflix.
The Disflix.
The Netflix Disney. Net Disney. Like Flix guy. Man.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Anyways.
We got a hell of a story for you guys.
Well, don't oversell it.
Huh?
Don't oversell it.
What? It's a crazy story, man. You know what the story is?
Sure.
I have no idea what the story is. So, as we always do here on Geeklirious, we like to do a little catch up. So, Mike, what have you been geeking into?
What have I been doing? Not a whole lot recently. I beat Spider-Man, so there was that. I think I talked about that, though, last week.
Yes, I believe you did mention that.
I don't know if I beat it at that time, though.
I don't know.
Maybe
well, you beat Spider-Man.
I did, yeah. So, I haven't really... I'm going to wait for the DLC to come out to get that Platinum Trophy.
Nice.
Other than that, I recently started rereading the old Avengers comics. I started in the Bendis run, like the beginning of it, Avengers Disassembled from like 2004 or whatever. So I'm reading a lot of Avengers comics.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm like rereading that all the way to like the new stuff now. So
Any particular reason?
I haven't read that stuff in a while.
Okay.
And there's some stuff, like I read most of it as time went on, but there's stuff I missed, so I want to see everything and read everything, and I haven't really been doing that, so it's good to read that stuff, like a lot of good Avengers stuff.
Avengers are good.
Yeah, the new Avengers and Mighty Avengers.
We're talking about the greater good.
Yeah, so doing that. That's about it, though. How about you?
As always, I got a lot going on, man.
Yeah, I know you played God of War.
Yeah, I played. So because PlayStation was super awesome, this round. If you guys are unaware of this, PlayStation gives out 2 free games, like every month.
Yeah.
If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, and this month it was Destiny 2 and God of War 3 remastered.
Yeah.
Like usually they give you like one larger game and then like one like smaller game, like an Apotheon or like a Guacamelee type of thing.
Yeah. And
then they usually have like a bigger game, like
not to discredit those games.
Oh no, those are good, but they're just not like they don't retail for $60 in the store.
AAA.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've gotten like not God of War, like Just Cause 3, and there's been a lot of good games that were available. But so yeah, I played and beat God of War 3. I had never played any of the God of War games, so I kind of felt a little weird going into it just for the third one.
Yeah, but
it was free. I ain't gonna pass up a free game.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. I thought the combination of the beat 'em up action style mixed with the puzzle solving elements, very cool, and it didn't get stale. Even like the combat, there was like they added in new obstacles all the time and new types of enemies, and the bosses were a lot of fun too. A lot of fun boss battles. Very hard game.
Yeah.
I played it. No, the graphics are so good. My one gripe with the game, I don't know if it was the game itself or maybe I was just experiencing a glitch, but the sound kept cutting out, like during certain missions. I'm sorry, not during missions, during certain cutscenes.
Yeah.
And it got really annoying because, like, the last cutscene in the game, the one where you're talking to the ghost of Hera or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget her name. You're talking to the ghost. That was completely silent for me. I had subtitles on, so I was reading it. But I went back and I watched the cutscene on YouTube because I felt like I didn't get the full effect, and that kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the whole beginning of the game was fine, and then about like 3/4 of the way through, that started happening, and I reset my console, and it still happened. So I don't know if it was something with the download, or maybe the copy that they had on the PlayStation Store is weird. I'm not quite sure, but other than that, fantastic game, super fun.
I'm glad you liked it because, especially for your first God of War experience.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Does it make you more excited to play the new one that came out?
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah, because I want to find out what happened, because the third one ends in a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I'd like to find out what happened to Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the other free game was Destiny 2. Started playing that. Seems pretty cool. The last couple, I haven't played a first-person shooter in a while.
Yeah.
So it was weird getting back into it because I just the last couple games I've played were Last of Us, Kingdom Hearts, and God of War. So they were all like third-person games.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back into first-person shooters is kind of weird. So I like it though. I like Destiny 1, and I'm a fan of Bungie, and I loved Halo, so it's right up my alley. Science fiction, it's cool. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about before we jump into the main topic was American Vandal Season 2 on Netflix came out.
Yes.
Holy crap, it's so good. Me and Alyssa binge-watched it. It was so freaking good. Oh my god. It was just as good as the first season, if not better. If you're a fan of American Vandal...
Still the same people in it from the first season, right?
The kids are the same, but everybody else is different. They go to a different school.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys are unaware, American Vandal is like a mockumentary series, where it kind of takes I don't want to spoil it, but, let's just say that there's a vandalism in a school, and both seasons are based around this too. It's not the same vandalism, but both of them are funny.
Yeah.
Funny vandalisms, but the way that the documentary plays out, it takes everything very serious. Like it's in the style of like almost like a murder mystery type thing.
Yeah.
And so there's the subject matter that they're talking about is hysterical, but they're playing it so straight that it's really funny.
Yeah.
So, but it's honestly engaging, and you want to find out who did it and how they did it, and it's just honestly such a well-written show. I cannot recommend American Vandal, both seasons 1 and 2, enough.
Yeah. I saw the first season, really liked it. It's super funny, but there's also some like on the low touching parts about it. Mm-hmm. Like there's some feels in it too. So there's a lot of really good acting too.
There
like,
is.
You feel like these are like real people.
That's especially how you feel in season 2.
Yeah.
Like you get it's honestly I think at its core, American Vandal is kind of like a show about emotions and, you know, humans and how humans react to different situations, and it's really like a commentary on this age of technology and social media.
Yeah.
It's so smart. It's so well done.
And also just growing up, teenage years, and school and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you know,
there's a lot of
bullying and the popular kids
and who doesn't like the Wayback Boys? They're hilarious.
The Wayback Boys were pretty great.
Tank Top Todd
with one girl.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so funny. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much what I did last week. I played a lot of video games and watched American Vandal season 2.
Yeah, man.
So yeah,
all right. Stuff.
So, as if you didn't see by the title of the episode, we're going to be talking about the most infamous canceled video games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So these are video games that we were excited when trailers dropped for them or they were announced, and then we were heartbroken when they were canceled and never to be seen from again.
Yeah, some games that had so much potential just ended too soon.
Very well said, Mike.
Yeah. Never got the chance to, fly with the rest of the birds.
A poor baby boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mike, you want to start us off? You got some,
I do.
All right.
I guess no particular order, really.
No. This isn't like a top 10 or anything, just
a few of the games that we saw and
that we were personally impacted by.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Patriots.
Okay.
At least I was a big Tom Clancy fan, Rainbow Six fan. I like the more tactical shooters, than, the whole Call of Duty, just run around as fast as possible and twitch shooting and all that stuff. And Patriots was talked about for like a long time. It was the return of Rainbow Six after New Vegas 2. And those games were really good. And this one looked really cool. And then nothing happened.
Oh, no.
But luckily, the bright side to this one, at least, is they actually ended up coming with the Rainbow Six game. It just wasn't Patriots. It was just Siege. That's what it was called.
Yes.
And that's a really good game, but it was only multiplayer.
Mm.
And as you guys know, probably by now, I'm not the biggest multiplayer guy. I like it here and there, but never could really hold my attention.
Right.
So that was kind of disappointing with Siege. But yeah, Patriots, it just looked so awesome. Like, everything was destructible. Much like in Siege, like, you could tell they took a lot from Patriots and just put it all on Siege. And we're like, we're not going to put a story. We're just going to do the multiplayer thing. That seems to work. And it did. But yeah, Patriots, I really wanted to see. Like, I liked in Rainbow Six, me and, like, a friend, we would just, mark the bots and go in stealth and do all that Rainbow Six stuff. And that was not to be done, unfortunately.
So sad.
But Siege is a good game, so there's still a bright side to it. Unlike the next one we're going to talk about. which is...
So actually, my first pick shares a lot of similarities with what you just talked about.
Yeah?
And that is Star Wars Battlefront 3. So, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 were two of the biggest games on the PlayStation 2, at least for me. I know for a lot of Star Wars fans and just video game fans alike. Especially Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was really my bread and butter. That was my jam. Having friends come over and setting up the heroes versus villains level on Mos Eisley, and really just a lot of fun stuff. A story mode, a campaign. So then we started getting images and little videos of the production, leaked videos from Battlefront 3, and it showed spaceships launching from the ground into space and having both space battles and land battles simultaneously. And
yes.
I freaked out. I was like, that is the coolest goddamn thing. Like, because in Battlefront 2, you could play ground levels or you can play space levels. Mm-hmm. But there was never the combination of the two.
Yeah.
So, and then it got, I think Pandemic Games was creating it, and I think they got shut down, or they went out of business. And I think the title was bounced around a lot, and then I think it was just finally canceled after a while, which is depressing as all hell. I know I was following this YouTube channel that was grasping at straws, trying to find,
just any bit of
news that we could possibly get about it, because everyone loved this game, and it never happened. And then, almost seemingly out of nowhere, one E3, we got an announcement: Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And I freaked out. I was like, oh, they're finally making it. But, unfortunately, very similar to your Rainbow Six story, multiplayer only.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the same game. You didn't... It didn't feel like Battlefront anymore. It felt like Battlefield, which is DICE, the creator's other series.
Right.
So, essentially, they just took Battlefield and reskinned it with Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
And I bought it. I bought it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but it wasn't Battlefront.
I feel like that's the general consensus about it. Like, a lot of people...
It wasn't a bad game.
Yeah. Did you play the second one?
I did not play the second one.
Because that had a campaign.
It did.
Although I heard mixed things about it.
I didn't buy it because I didn't agree with what EA did with the loot boxes and all of that.
Oh, yeah, totally. Shame on me buying it the first time. It wasn't good. Why would you buy the second one?
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my first pick. Star Wars Battlefront 3. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get a true sequel to the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah. And sticking with Star Wars, because that's been a theme for Star Wars for a while with their Star Wars games. I know we had another one that you're familiar with, but do you remember the other one that was going to be...
You're talking Star Wars 1313?
Yeah. But then after that, there was the one with Amy Hennig that was going to write that, who, if you don't know, she was the lead writer from Uncharted.
Okay.
And EA, she left Naughty Dog to work for EA to do Star Wars. Like, it was going to be a single-player, Uncharted-esque Star Wars game. And I was like, yes, this is what I want. I don't think it had an official title.
Okay. But, so, an unnamed Star Wars game made by the creator of Uncharted.
Yeah, it could have had a name, but from what I remember, it didn't. Not that I can remember.
Okay.
But yeah, and I was really excited because obviously I don't like the multiplayer stuff. I want a single player Knights of the Old Republic-esque.
Yeah.
Or even, give me a Han Solo game like Uncharted.
Dude. How sick would an Uncharted esque Han Solo game be?
Right? And that's what it was, from what I understand that's what it was going to be like.
That sucks.
Just with, maybe not with Han Solo, but I think it was about, like, the, like, space pirates or whatever. I'm not sure. But, yeah. that was really cool, and I was super excited for it after being bummed out from 1313, which we'll talk about as well. I'm sure you'll get to that after me. Yeah, and then after her being there for, 2 years of working on this game and stuff, they just cancel it. And that was right around the time where Battlefront 2 was coming out, I think I heard that.
Okay.
And then the whole Battlefront 2 controversy kind of took over that whole thing. But yeah, that's what I was really bummed about from what I remember. Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, you were 100% right. It didn't have a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you know what, while we're talking about Star Wars, we might as well talk about Star Wars 1313.
Exactly.
So, Star Wars 1313 was unfortunately one of the casualties in the Disney buyout of LucasArts.
Yeah.
When Disney bought LucasArts, they pretty much just put a halt to everything so they could figure out what they were doing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Star Wars 1313 fell into that. So the cool thing about Star Wars 1313, how many times can I say that, Jesus? Was that it was going to be a prequel about a young Boba Fett growing up and becoming a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And the gameplay that they showed from it looked completely awesome.
Like playing on the Empire side, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, not many games allowed you to be bad guys, you know?
Especially in Star Wars.
Especially Star Wars. And I think it would have given some new character to such a beloved fan favorite, and
It looked awesome.
It did look so good, and it kills me that they canceled it. And I'm not saying that we didn't get there. I mean, there's plenty of good Star Wars games, but it just sucks that this could have been one of the best ones.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah,
kills me inside. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but yeah, that's essentially the story of 1313.
Yeah, and pretty much the Star Wars games. Really bad luck for Star Wars in general lately, which is weird because it's such a huge franchise. You think they'd be really trying to get a good one, like something that, I don't know. But yeah.
They did announce a new Star Wars game at E3.
Yes, they did.
But we don't have much details on it though.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be like I think a full single player campaign type thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe that'll be 1313. You never know.
Doubtful, but yeah,
Very doubtful.
Even though I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy, I do enjoy some of the games. my favorite Star Wars game is Knights of the Old Republic, of course.
I never played it, but I know it's one of those games because it was by BioWare, right?
Yes.
That was kind of like the foundation for like Mass Effect and
Dragon
absolutely. Age and other BioWare games.
That was the game that made EA buy BioWare. So yeah, and then BioWare's done some good stuff and not so much good stuff, but
now, speaking of which, we never got a Knights of the Old Republic 3.
But I don't. That wasn't canceled or anything. That just was never made, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of Star Wars stuff. But what was some other ones? I know there was another good one. The Rockstar North. They had a game in the PS3 era and 360 era called Agent.
Yeah, so you were telling me about this before.
Yes.
You want to explain a little bit about what Agent would have been?
Yeah. Well, way back in 2007.
Back in the day, man.
Yeah. There was... It looked like a 70s spy thriller type thing.
Okay.
I saw, pictures of it, I think, but... It was canceled in 2010. And, yeah, it as far as gameplay, I can't really tell you what it was like. It looked like, an espionage, sort of spy thriller. I see some pictures of it, but it's just, stills. You can't really, just, atmospheric type shots that don't really, give you much. But it looked really cool, and at the time I was excited for something knew from Rockstar because they were doing, they had GTA and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But Rockstar has put out a lot of good stuff that's not necessarily like their Grand Theft Autos. They have Bully, they have, there's other. They've made a lot of other good games. So that game, it looked really good and different from the GTA things. So I was really
from what you're describing, it almost sounds like a James Bond type thing, huh?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I feel like they were trying to go for maybe
especially
a
with
James
the 70s
Bond, a
type
little
of thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that game was canceled in favor of LA Noire. LA Noire came out about that time, right?
Yeah.
Like 2010-ish?
Yeah, probably. And it was supposed to be a Sony exclusive. Yeah, they just didn't renew the trademark, and yeah.
That sucks. But, we're still getting good Rockstar games, so...
Absolutely.
At least we have those to look forward to. But Agent did sound pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a shame, because Rockstar has, a lot of cool stuff. L.A. Noire was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it came out as good as it should have been, or as good as I would have liked. But there was some really cool stuff with L.A. Noire. And a lot of their non-GTA stuff,
Yeah.
That's what a talented developer, really.
So sad.
Yeah. Do you have any other ones? I know we didn't touch on a few.
Yeah, there was a couple more I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the last big one I wanted to talk about was Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills.
Yes.
So, huge game. We had a playable demo for it. That's what kills me. We had a playable demo for it.
I wish I never deleted that off my PlayStation 4.
Dude,
I could have just, sold that, bought another PS4, and bought probably a bunch of games with what people were buying that console from.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was like Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
One of my coworkers sold his iPhone with, Flappy Bird on it for, $800 on eBay.
Which is just really stupid because anyone could just download the APK for free. So
yeah.
It's
it's ridiculous.
With the PlayStation, it makes more sense because that's a closed platform. But with you could get that on Android. By other means.
Easily.
On PS3, that would have been way more difficult.
But Hideo Kojima, Norman Reedus, teaming up to make a Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
This game looked phenomenal. The demo looked phenomenal. And then what happened to it? Relations fell out between the creators, I think.
Well, Konami, man, they're at that time they were trying to get out of the video game industry. So, and they still are, I guess. Their priorities are not in video games anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, and Guillermo del Toro was in that too. He was the director?
Yeah, I think he put a lot of input on it. But I think he was supposed to be the director for Silent Hills, but for PT, I think he just put a little creative input. But yeah, PT, I like the demo. The thing about that game is, one, it was super scary. So, it was cool playing with a friend, but playing by myself. Something about that. Even though you go in the same, making that same corner, doing the same hallway. They did some really cool stuff with it.
Yeah.
Really interesting, they give you a story without giving you a story. It was all of it was the more you play it, the more you get out of it and stuff,
right.
And the other the little stuff you hear from it. So that was really cool, and that was unfortunate that they couldn't get that together.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Kojima from Metal Gear Solid. I'm a huge fan of Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead and Boondock Saints, and Guillermo del Toro is easily one of my top five favorite directors of all time. So the combination of them making a survival horror game would have been fantastic. But we do have a kind of a happy end to the story in the fact that all three of those before mentioned are working on a fantastic new game.
Yes, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, exactly. Thank you for helping me out on that. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, we got... Yeah, so, like, yeah, it was a bummer that we didn't get Silent Hills and stuff. And, there won't be any more good Metal Gear games. But Kojima Productions spawned out of that. You know, now they're Sony behind them, which, you know, Sony has... They kill it with their exclusives.
Yeah, they got a lot of clout.
So, and using the tech from Horizon Zero Dawn, that's the engine that they're using.
Oh, that's awesome. Because that game looks fantastic.
Yeah, and this, well, if you've seen Death Stranding, you've seen it, so you know.
Yeah, the teasers they've released look insane.
Ridiculous. And, yeah, it looks like this is what Kojima really wants to do, so I'm really happy about that instead of having to, you know, work for Konami, place that he wasn't happy or whatever.
Kojima's an evil mastermind, and he deserves to have free reign of his projects.
Yeah, and I feel like Sony will, from what it looks like, that's what they're giving him. They're like, here, we trust you. You have a relationship with Sony. We trust you. Here's the truck full of money, and come back in 5 years, give us a gem, and that's what we want. And I have faith in Sony to do that. So there's light at the end of that tunnel. But yeah, Silent Hills would have been really cool.
It would have been.
That's unfortunate.
All right. Is there anything else, Chad?
Also, I mean, this is kind of like one of the big ones, StarCraft Ghost.
Okay.
I know you weren't a big StarCraft player.
I've never played it.
I was never huge StarCraft guy, but I do like StarCraft and Warcraft more, but StarCraft, yeah. And this, it was, what era was that? It was around PS2, and I think it was supposed to come out for PS3 or something like that, and then it was being delayed and delayed. And if you don't know StarCraft, it's a sci-fi futuristic real-time strategy game, but in Ghost, it was like a first-person action-adventure type game.
Interesting.
So, people were really excited to see Blizzard do stuff that was not necessarily in their wheelhouse, like something different.
Right.
And it looked awesome. And then, yeah, just Blizzard, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but yeah, never saw the light of day.
That sounds pretty sucky. That kind of reminds me of Halo and Halo Wars. Yeah. You know, except the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, going from a first-person shooter to a real-time strategy. It's interesting.
Well, Halo was supposed to be a real-time strategy game, right?
Originally?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Halo Wars was more like the original Halo when that's what they wanted Halo to be. And then they got bought by Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, no, first-person shooter. They're like, all right. And that's how we got Halo.
Ended up becoming one of the best first-person shooters of all time.
Yeah.
So happy accident.
Yeah, definitely. So there's been good things about this, which I didn't even think about when we were talking about this list, because all these games looked good, and they were bummers they didn't come out. But, you know, maybe Amy Hennig will find a new place, and she'll hopefully go back to Naughty Dog and maybe get another Uncharted game. That would be pretty sweet.
Dude, create that Uncharted Han Solo game, man.
Oh, yeah.
Can we petition that? Can we start up a
I'm pretty sure. I'm
or
sure there has to be one already out there. I'm sure there's a few that we can also add our names to.
Dude, can we just get a Han Solo skin for Uncharted?
Yeah.
And then just replace all of the Nathan Drake quotes with Harrison Ford quotes from different movies and stuff.
Yeah, I shot first.
Replace all of the aliens are just Doritos. All of the enemies.
Oh man, that would be that'd be something. That would be really cool. What was your biggest game off this list? Do you think that you were the most excited for?
For me, it was Battlefront 3.
Yeah,
hands
for
down.
me, it was the Star Wars that never was.
That does suck.
Yeah, I mean, Hank, 1313.
Dude, yeah, Star Wars has really had a bad run of it as far as video games go.
Yeah, not to make this as a canceled Star Wars game show, but those were like really, and the worst part about it is like, then we got Battlefront. It's like, come on.
I had fun with Battlefront, but it wasn't the same thing.
It's not what we wanted.
No,
I don't think anyone wanted. Well, people wanted Battlefront, like you said. You were a fan of the Battlefront. I wasn't really a fan of those games, but I know there was an audience, and I feel like they didn't satisfy you with like you being that audience, and they didn't satisfy me with being like single player. So it was like they weren't making anyone happy, which it's no bueno, man.
Yeah, the thing I liked the most, I think, about Battlefront was how much they paid attention to detail in the Star Wars universe. All the different types of maps they had, and the single player campaign, just everything fit. The different types of weapons, all the different characters, all the different classes.
Yeah.
Just fit so well together.
Yeah.
Such obscure characters, and having the playable heroes on every level. And that fit in with, when you were on Camino, you played as Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett. And when you played on, you played Jabba's palace, you had Luke, and you had Vader.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome.
Yeah. That's but it happens, you know.
Does.
And hopefully we get a good Star Wars game. You know, they take a while to make, so hopefully out of all that stuff, they can really get it together. And
hopefully that one they announced at E3 turned out to be pretty good. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. But it's going to have loot boxes in it. Pre-order this to get 10 free loot boxes and all that garbage.
All right, well, guys, that about does it. That's our list. But we want to hear from you guys. What are your most infamous canceled games of all time?
Yeah, were you more excited for 1313, like Brian, or the other one that I liked?
The
unnamed Star Wars
by the Uncharted people.
Yeah. Let us know. Yeah. Or if we just missed something.
Yeah.
Which we did. We
know
there's a bunch of games that were canceled and stuff. But let us know what you guys want to see on the list. Shoot those down below and up high and to the right and to the left.
All over the place. Compasses, directions.
North, south, east, west. Come on, man.
All right, that about does it for Geeklirious episode 45.
Yeah, and sorry for the, I'm very nasally. It's that sick time of the year. So me and Brian probably for the next few months, if you hear some coughing, or some sneezing.
I'll get some halls.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Peace.